So, nice to see you. We just had Karuna here helping us all afternoon. And it's so nice when children get involved, isn't it? And they're so good at helping. They laugh. You know, I don't know why people say children complain in their homes. They never complain. And the other two, were they twins? What were their names, those two lovely little girls?
Hannah and Leah.
Lovely. They were so much fun, huh? What did they say? They want to do good and be good. So, and that's what adults have to learn, what they already know. So anyway, today I asked for some questions. Do you think I got some questions in the box? I hope so. Yes, I got a few. How nice. You all doing well?
Yes, thank you.
You know the song is written by Roseanne Garcia, or Razmi as we know her. She hasn't come for a long time, but the song is really beautiful. That's why I played it through. It says, everywhere I look, I see your face, guiding me through my everyday. And what else is the next one? When I think of you, you come to me. With so much love, you set me free. Now, if you can think of your God, or Ishvara, or Jesus, or Buddha, or flowers, or nature, whatever you choose to be your God, or the Malik, whatever, and if you can think of it all the time with so much love, whatever you think of will set you free. There's a very, it's a true story, and it's in ancient India. There was a chap, a hunter, and he was in the forest, and he said, you know, everybody's telling me God is everywhere. Everybody says it, but look at the priest, and look at this one, they cheat, and this one does this, and everybody's fighting over religion. And if God is really everywhere and accepts all, then God will even accept, if there's really a God, He will really accept my way of worship. So what was his way of worship? He made a promise. There was a stone in a desert area that every day his way of worshiping was to take a pebble or another stone and throw it at the big stone. And that was his promise. So if there's really a God, that's how we'll know God. So every day he would hit this stone. He'd come specially without eating, and he promised not to eat until he'd done this practice. So every day he wouldn't eat, get a stone in this this desert area, and throw it and throw it and throw it. Years went by. It just became part of his personality to do that every morning. He didn't even think of it. Now, one day, he's there in that area, and there are no stones. He's going a bit crazy. He's looking, just picked up all the stones. Where are the stones? There must be a pebble. So he walks around the circumference. He doesn't eat. He's getting really hungry. And you know when people don't eat and they don't sleep, what happens? They start to, get cranky. She goes, anyway. And they start to get a little bit like trance-like, right? So then what he did was, yes, I gotta find a stone. I promise, every day of my life I would do this. I have to do this. My word is my bond. So he suddenly touches his own head. And he goes, oh my God, this is a stone. Now don't forget, he's been doing this every day for years. So he goes, this is it. So he runs to the rock, and just as he's about to hit his head, a voice comes, no, my son. Your devotion is so complete, and God appeared to him. So, Bhakti Yoga, or real yoga, is that union with the divine, however you see it. You think even with hitting the divine, because the divine is love. That's why you can't judge anybody and the way they find God. We don't know what their method is.
Actually, I heard a quote yesterday from Gandhi.
Yes.
He said, God has no religion. And I thought, it's brilliant, it's so brilliant.
Yeah.
God
has no religion. If it's everywhere, if you can choose anything you want with that devotion, you will find God. There are many they're called the Seva saints. Many stories. There's 77 of them in India. in the old generations. There's a book out on them. And we saw it in India, but why didn't we buy it? I said, I'll buy it, and I forgot last minute, as usual. So, always doing it, I forgot. And it's really, these are all true stories. There are many villages in India named after these saints. There's another little town called Kanapa, and named after this young man who also worshipped. He was from a poor caste. And there was this Brahmin priest who had a little temple in the forest. And every day this boy, who was the cowherd, would come and give a glass of milk for the priest to do worship. You know, in India, they pour milk, honey, water on the Shiva Lingam. Do you know that? Now for those, what's a Shiva Lingam? Do we have one here?
At the bottom, no.
Not the proper one, but the egg.
Okay, a Shiva Lingam, this is not the proper one, is like a shape of an egg, right? And it's to represent the energy of God. No beginning, no end, you know, there's nothing in this, but in order to open our hearts, we need to do sometimes some kind of communication. Puja or prayer is one such communication. And in our Hindu system, we do puja in our temples every day. You don't have to, but this is a practice that if you want to do, you pour some milk, you pretend that this is God, and you're talking to God, and you go, this is milk. Because it's hard to see God inside yourself, isn't it? Hard to know that the light is inside of you. But when you pour the milk, and God, I'm feeding you, God, I'm dressing you, God, I'm putting flowers, what happens to you? You're actually starting to communicate. If you look at a photo, for example, and you start talking to a photo, you know, of somebody who's passed away or something, you start to really feel like you're communicating with that person. Have you felt that? You know what I mean? Or somebody who's far away, you look at their photo and you talk to the photo. Same thing. But what you're doing when you're talking to this divine energy or higher intelligence, or what we call God, is you're not giving it any form and shape, and you're opening your own heart. And that's a puja. And so they pour milk. So anyway, this cowherd boy would bring the milk to the priest every morning, and he'd watch the priest put it on the Shiva Lingam and talk to God and do some mantras, and he'd go, oh, I really want to get close to God. I really want to do this puja, but I'm not allowed because I'm a lower caste. Again, lower caste. There's no lower caste. But anyway, so when the priest goes, he gets an idea. You know what? I'll water down this milk, and what I'll do is some of it, and I'll do the puja after the priest goes, when he's finished. So the priest would finish his prayer, walk away, and he'd have a little bit of milk, and he'd sit there on the Shiva Lingam and pray, oh God, I love you so much, I love you so much, can I please see you? I really, really want to see you. And every day he would do it. And the priest started to notice the milk is a bit watery. Why is it a bit watery? It's getting more and more watery every day. And so he waits behind after he finished, and he sees this cowherd go there and do the puja. And he goes in, pulls him by the ears. What? Don't you know you're lower caste? You're not allowed to do this puja. It's only meant for priests and people of higher thinking. You're not allowed to do it. And how dare you steal the milk? Don't you ever do it again. But what happened to the boy is that he got this lovely feeling every time he did it. He just thought, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it, I can't stop. You know, it's like a drug. Spirituality is like a drug. Once you feel that energy of God, you just want more, you just want more. And so what did he do? So he went and put his cow back in the shed, and what did he see? You know those little hooks they have for horses and cows? They look like Shiva Lingams. They are like pegs that go into the wood, and then they hang the, what do they call, the noose onto that peg. So he saw the peg and he goes, oh, that's like a Shiva Lingam. Oh my God, I can do puja here. I don't need to go to the temple. So what does he do? He goes there. Again, he takes a little milk, waters down the other one, and starts doing this on this wooden peg. So the Brahmin priest again notices, this boy is up to nonsense again. It's too watery. So he said, I'm going to watch him. He waits in a temple. No, the boy doesn't go there. So he follows him one day, and he sees him with the milk on the peg. And he goes, what? Didn't I tell you you're not allowed to do this practice? This practice this is only for priests and Brahmins, not for, low caste like you. And so the boy started crying. He said, but I love my God. He goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cut off that peg. And so the Brahmin priest goes, gets a knife, and axes it off. And that whole peg, blood comes out of it. Real blood comes out of the peg. And he goes, oh my God. And in really perfect timing. He goes, oh my God, forgive me. Your prayer has been more sincere than mine. So we understand it is your sincerity, your love, your goodness that will make you see this devotion to see God everywhere. Which is what this young boy did. Anyway, I don't know why he started on the song, Rasmi's song, everywhere I look I see your face. So each one chooses the method that is right for them. The thing is that we all have God within us. We are not God. And yet we are. Hard to understand. Is the body God? Yes and no. Who created it all? You see, these are the questions you ask yourself. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And you'll start to understand what is everything. What is everything? Where did everything come from? But in order to understand that, we have to have the connection. And the connection is within. Puja is one of these ways to connect. Mantra, chanting, another way to connect. Many ways to connect. Singing is another way. Dancing is another way. Art is another way. Computers is another way. Any way you choose is a way. So if you think every moment, as Gurudev said, real freedom is enjoying whatever you do. If you can think that every moment, at every second in your life, you are connecting with that source, you can be forever joyful. Pain comes, it's divine. Joy comes, it's divine. It's all divine. You're putting chairs for other people like this lovely girl did for us and the other two girls. Putting the chairs, it's divine. They were so happy. They were divine. They were so happy. There was no complaint. Just help, just help, just help. And I just said, Nalanie, I think if you push it all out, it's an easier way to do it. So she even taught me to do it another way. And this is what comes from children, that innocence, that joy, when you appreciate them. When you appreciate them and know that they're capable of doing it with so much love, they bring out the best, not only in them, but in you. So thank you for doing that for me today. Appreciate that love. So we'll continue with the questions. It's getting warm today, huh? Mm. How do you stop yourself worrying and thinking negative thoughts? Even knowing that thinking negatively will attract negativity, it's hard to stop. These thoughts keep coming in. Don't try so hard. Don't try so hard. There's a story that we read this morning on the way into Gibraltar by Anthony de Mello. And it was about this chap who was always negative and very lazy and negative. I won't remember exactly, but the gist I do. And everybody kept on telling him, you have to change, you have to change, you have to change. And he knew he had to change. He was negative. I know I have to change, but I can't change. I don't seem to be able to do it. No matter how he tried, he could not change. He tried everything. And every day people would say, but you can, don't you know you can? And he goes, but I can't. So one day, somebody comes up to him and he goes, I know I need to change and I can't change. And he goes, this person goes, but I love you as you are. love you as you are. And he took that in. Somebody loved him as he was. And what happened? Because somebody loved him as he was, what do you think happened? He started to be happier. One person came to him and said, every day, I love you as you are. I love you as you are. So what happened? He started to be happy. Somebody was loving him as he was. So, by itself, he changed. Are you understanding that? See, many times we stress out, I know I have to change and I can't. What you resist, again, remember, will persist. It's like meditation. People go into meditation, I have to meditate, empty the mind. Ramakrishna said, if you want to empty your mind, take a hammer and hit your head. Empty your mind. It's stressful. Do you see? It's so stressful. That's why meditation should be approached with divine love, with divine joy, not with this stress. It won't produce any good results. So the same about your character. Sometimes you just need to accept who you are. Be comfortable with it. When you accept who you are, then you become joyful. When you become joyful, you automatically change. People like you. The moment you become joyful, people like to be around you. Who doesn't want to be around a joyful person? Who doesn't? It's so contagious, joy. So, you will change by yourself. But if you're constantly hammering yourself, I know I have to, but I can't. You're never going to. So love yourself a little bit more and trust that God loves you. There is one person that loves you. Even if the whole world lets you down, there is this energy that gives you constant love. That even a stone or a piece of wood can cry tears of blood. And many times in mystical readings, you will see many such things have happened to many saints all over the world, not only India. Saint Teresa of Avila, her devotion for Lord Jesus was so great that every time she passed his photograph in the hallway, she would levitate on her own. Did she ask to levitate? No. But her love was so light, she would levitate. You know what she prayed so hard? Mataji told me, because I read a story long ago. I couldn't remember. She prayed God so hard that she wouldn't have to levitate because she was embarrassed by it. See, it wasn't for showing off. So many people take these yogic teachings and to develop these powers to show how great they are. It's not for that. She actually said, I don't want this, But her body couldn't help becoming so light when she was so in love. When you're in love, how do you feel? Light. This is just exaggerated a million times. So, the answer to your question is, don't worry, be happy. Except I'm thinking negatively. Can't fight it anymore. And then just be joyful. I'm negative. I accept. Don't try so hard. Be around happy people. If you're very negative, try and be around very, very positive people. But not people telling you can be positive, you can be positive, you can be positive all the time. Just be around them. That energy will be contagious to you. Thank you. I hope I answered your question. Another question. How can I find inner peace? $1 million question. Spend some time in quiet. Spend some time alone. And when you're very agitated and you first spend some time in silence, it's almost impossible. Everybody here who started meditation will tell you, initially it was impossible, so hard, you're so noisy. And that will teach you, just by sitting in silence, you will learn the state of your mind that's state of your mind is agitated, then the desire to work for inner peace will come. You will want inner peace, to work for it, because you've discovered that the reason why you don't have peace is because your mind is agitated. Now that you know your mind is agitated, and after a while when you start meditating, you realize that you are not your mind. Because you can watch your mind think. Who is the one that is watching the mind agitated or frustrated or angry? Who is that one? Who is that one? We call it the witness, or the divine, or the self with a capital S. Who is that self? So neutral, we can watch both sides of your mind, good and bad. It has to be neutral. It's only a neutral person that is totally balanced that can watch both sides of the story. That's why when husbands and wife argue and they come and see me, I go, I have to be neutral. I said, we're not here to blame. It takes two hands to clap. So have to be neutral. One partner will say, but this person's more wrong, or the other person will say, that person's more wrong. No. We're not here to take sides, but to be neutral. So that neutral person, who is that in you? Who's the one that's watching you? When you get in touch with that neutral person, wow, what's that neutrality in me? That's quite steady. And hook on to that. And not attach yourself to those crazy thoughts that are in your mind. Just watch them and hook on to who's the one that's doing the watching. Who's the one that's doing the watching? Who's the one that's watching the mind? I want to be your friend. I want to fall in love with you because you seem quite quiet and you can watch two things. I want to watch. I don't want to be part of that nonsense. I don't want to be part of that stress. I don't want to be part of that. But that's going on here. I want to be part of this. And after a while, you develop the ability in terrible times, difficult times, to feel that inner peace. By knowing you are that, it's already in you. You just forgotten. The mind just got carried away. And then, if you really want to study further, then you study why does your mind get carried away. And if you really study your mind, you'll go back to what we talked of the last few weeks. Personal desires. Personal. If I don't get this, I won't be happy. They're so subtle, but they're there. And those are the things that are causing you discomfort. And that's why the Buddhists say one of the greatest practices is the practice of gratitude. Why? Because when you're grateful, you're not into I need, I want. And what is the biggest problem? So you learn to analyze yourself very calmly, and you become your best spiritual master, the guru within. And that's what you need to find in yourself, to get total inner peace, the guru within. The world, if you keep thinking the world is going to give it to you, you will be disappointed constantly. The world is not here to give you inner peace. The world is here to teach you to go with it. The job of the world is to show you that whatever you have is impermanent. That's the university. Whatever we get here is impermanent. Your age, one day a child, next day a young person, next day middle age, next day old age, and next time death. Even your body changes, it's not permanent. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. The university is this world to teach us nothing is impermanent. But with all the teachings we get, it still doesn't sink in. We can talk about spirit, we can talk about soul, we can talk about death easily. But if it was really sinking in, what would you do with your time? What would life mean to you? So like commerce. It's a place where we can play. It's got both sides, the beauty, the tremendous beauty, and the tremendous suffering. It's a great play to be in. Guess what? You have the choice to make it beautiful or ugly. Can't do much else. But you can decide in a painful situation how to behave. And in an addicted position, how to behave. You can make that choice. That choice is yours. Can't change the outside, whatever is happening. The choice you can. So that is our freedom, to make the right choices. And that's the practice of yoga. The more you are in tuned to your inner soul, your light, the more you're in tune, the less you will do things that will create more karmic suffering for you. The less. Because the more you get in tune with your spirit is expansive. It's beyond your human personality. Haven't there been times in your life when you get surprised at what you can do? I'm sure all of you face this. How did I do this? How did I achieve this? Haven't you ever felt that? Where did that strength come from? Where did that come from? I can't do it, but where did it come from? That force, the more you meditate, the more you align yourself to that force, the more that force works through you. The more you're capable of doing. That's why it says if you have complete faith, nothing is
impossible.
Nothing is impossible. But that faith has to come from you. And where does that faith come from? Your life. Watch it. When I first started the yogi path, I thought, I was always like before, complaining about everything, why me, and like everybody else, And then when I started the spiritual path and started to look at gratitude, and I saw in my life, there were so many times in my life that it was desperate. So many times. And I got through it all. Who picked me up? I got through it all. Why shouldn't I? Why should it continue? Why should it continue? And that builds up your faith. When you look back at your life and see how you got here now and all the things you've gone through and how you've done that and you're out of it and you're okay. Why should you lose your faith? It's always going to be with you. You're never going to be left alone, no matter how bad. And that's the secret. That is the secret of understanding that faith, that you're never alone. You're never alone. And then once you know that, then your life will be full of service. Because everything is divine. Step by step. There's no stress. Don't rush the process. Don't rush it. Give yourself time. You don't make it this life, you'll many more. Just sow good seeds. Just sow good seeds. This is not the end of the road. You are immortal. You're immortal. You're never going to die. Never going to die. No beginning, no end. The only thing that's going to die is you as you know in this body, and that's limited anyway. It's quite exciting, don't you think? What will I get next time? Who knows? What do I have to learn? Who knows? What do I have to give? Who knows? Who wants to know anyway? Why do you want to know? Isn't it fun not knowing? Isn't it fun just living each day as if it's an adventure? Why are we so scared of adventure? You go, oh, life is so boring. Really? And you're not living in your spirit. You live in your spirit each moment. Wow, life will never be boring. Life will send you so many messages. many messages. So for example, today, we had a meeting, Lakshmi, myself, Jagati and Shanti. And Jagati very kindly brought us a lovely salad. And while I was taking the salad, she stopped in the sink. And she knew. She knew something. She didn't say anything. So anyway, I sit in the office and I start to remove all the olives from my salad because I don't eat olives. I don't like olives. So she goes, I knew it. I knew you didn't like olives. I just knew it. And I don't know why I put it in when I knew it. She didn't listen to her higher voice.
Well,
It was
not
still-
right. Or I wouldn't have put them in.
So anyway, and you just have a good laugh. And this is just a fun example, but when you're rolling with the gods, the flow of God, when you're rolling in that energy, it's really every day, every day. I mean, my life, every day, I seem to get messages. I think something and very next minute it's happening. It just happens. Somebody will come along and give me that address, or somebody will come along that needs to meet somebody. Even if it's not for me, I watch magic happen in other people's eyes, in front of my eyes. And it's a wonderful world when you're living in that level of consciousness. But of course, if you were living in a level of consciousness of desires, and this is where desires drive you a bit crazy, your desire, I have to have this, I want, and this, and that, you're locked in the world of material. You're just locked. But if you just shift your consciousness like 180 degrees, and like Guru does, I put some rose-colored glasses, you see a totally different world. Totally different world. And it's not a world that is punishing you. It's not a world like you see everything's going wrong now all over the world. You look at the news. You look at the news and you see so many things going on in the world. People get so depressed. I always say, if you're not strong enough to watch the news, don't. I love to watch the news. I love to watch the news. I get very excited. You know why? I can pray. It gives me an opportunity to pray for people. But I also know that every revolution brings a change. Every revolution makes us go forward. If it's for the betterment in the sense of democracy. Second World War, it was all towards dictatorship with Mussolini, we had Franco, we had Hitler. And now all these leaders are taking dominant parts, and again, now people are fighting for democracy. They're fighting for themselves. People are getting together for a better world. There's more positive than I've ever seen on the internet. Have you ever seen so many people talk about spirituality ever before? Why do you think there's an awakening? So all these fears, watching the tsunami, watching this earthquake, watching all these things go wrong, everybody knows, we all know deep inside, enough is enough. Mother Nature is crying. We've attacked her constantly. We've attacked and polluted our waters. We've polluted our skies, all for greed. We've dug land for money and properties, and everything is money, money, money. We haven't cared about our earth. We haven't even done it wisely. Money is fine, gain is all wonderful. Everybody should be wealthy, but do it with respect. Do it with planning. But everything that's been done is greed, greed, greed. There are so many alternative methods for electricity. There are so many alternative things that are available. Why aren't they using it? Greed, oil, money. And look at what Mother Earth throws right back. Look at Japan. Nuclear plant. So much toxic waste. Something has to break. Something has to go wrong. And those souls that die in the tsunami, and those souls that have to overcome all these things, are souls that have chosen to sacrifice their life so that Mother Earth can become better. That hopefully we learn. Because of course what touches us when we watch people die? They're our family. But they chose that for us to learn. And this is why It's really, really important, as Gurudev said in his very first talk in Gibraltar now. Never forget it. Somebody asked the question, will there ever be world peace? Unless, and his answer was, unless you find each individual finds their own peace, there will never be world peace. Because we're connected. If you find your peace, your inner peace, as the question asks, would you have any desire to hurt anyone or cause any pain? All that you will have is an awareness for the earth, an awareness for people, an awareness for animals, an awareness, an awakening, how everything is so beautifully alive. All that there would be from coming from you, your inner peace, is to share this kindness and this goodness. It's all you want to do. Because you're peaceful, you're not searching for anything, are you? You're not fighting for something. There's no jealousy, there's no envy. You've got it. You really got it. And that's the secret, again and again and again. So make yourself peaceful. Make yourself peaceful. Oh, we got a new teacher starting a class, I must tell you at this point. Thank you. We have a new teacher starting a class on Thursday, I think it's the 28th of April at 5 o'clock to 5:45 on Laughter Yoga. It's Connie. What's her last name? I forgot. I never know people's last name. John, did you hear? Anyway, Connie will be giving a Laughter Yoga.
Pierce.
Thank you, Pierce.
The one that came before?
Yes, she used to come in the temple in the early days. Yeah, she used to come to the temple in the early days. Not the one that gave you the laughter yoga. But she took a course in England, and it was so interesting. I said, why did you take the course? She said, because I'm too serious. And it's taught me how to laugh. That's what I call using good medicine. That's using good medicine. She's seeing that she's too serious, so what does she do? She takes a course on laughter yoga, because that's her medicine. And and I was telling her the story. Dada Janshin, you haven't met him, but he's a wonderful saint. He's still living. I think he's 92 now. And he does some wonderful work, and he's incredible. I mean, you walk in a room and he's light. And I've met him quite a few times. And he was telling us of this story in Hong Kong. He was saying that this lady came up to him, one of his disciples, and she said, Dada, I've been diagnosed with cancer. And they said, I have 6 months to live. What do I do? How do I live my 6 months? She was crying, depressed. I said, you need to go and laugh. Spend the next 6 months laughing. So she took him literally. She booked herself into a laughter clinic. There are many all over the world. Laughter therapy clinic in Switzerland. She stayed there for 6 months. 6 months now, she wasn't dying. So she went back to her doctor in the States. No trace of cancer. No trace of cancer. Why? What was missing in her life? Laughter. She found a cure for her problem. If you can be so exact and find a cure for your problem and use it, you can heal in a very emotional way. This was very clear. Before that, she was too serious, she never laughed, everything was depressing, so the cancer appeared, depressed cells. And then when she took the laughter, she cured herself. Drastic for drastic. Well, worked. But you have to do sharp and very quickly. But you have to know yourself. She was lucky the master had told her, go and do this, and she did it. Many times masters, gurus tell their disciples, but they don't do it. So you don't get healed. You got to do it. Nobody can do it for you. So we're going to have these classes, so please keep in tune. And I think it would be so nice if you know anybody serious, including yourself.
Thursday, 5 o'clock.
Thursday, 5 o'clock after Easter. I think it's around the 28th of April. Come, because it's so nice to sit and laugh. We don't do enough of it. And I think our world is sadly lacking in laughter. Everybody's so serious. Nobody has time to have fun. That's why children are so great. so easy to make them laugh. You know, and we are children. What are we but children? I don't know about you, but I'm going to be 57 soon, but I feel like a child inside. I don't feel old. Do you feel old as some of the older ones?
No.
Look at Ashley, she's really, you're old.
I'm 61.
Gonna be 60. Can you believe it? Yeah. Look at that. Stay young, stay lovely.
That's why I'm laughing.
Keep laughing, you'll stay young, I guarantee
People
you.
make me get crazy sometimes when I laugh.
That's
all the
okay.
time.
Yeah. We talked about that yesterday in Spain, you know, because we were covering the 4 locks and keys, and the first lock, as you know, is and key is friendliness towards the happy. Terry was in, Shanti was there yesterday, and friendliness towards the happy. First key, be friendly with happy people. But most people, when they see happy people, that reaction, oh, you're happy, you must be crazy. Oh, you must be a hypocrite. Oh, you must be acting. Oh, you're just silly, you know? They're not friendly towards happy people, so they will never be happy. But if you're friendly towards happy people, with happy people, it's contagious. Even in the 6th century, Shankaracharya wrote, one of the greatest Indian mystics, Hindu mystics, he wrote, be in good company. If you're in good company, you will not be in bad company. When you're not in bad company, you will not think negative. If you will not think negative, you will be uplifted. If you are uplifted, you will feel free. When you're uplifted, don't you feel free? Like there's a freedom, there's no burden on your backs, carrying like, who do you have to carry anyway? Yeah, lighten up. Like, you know, St. Teresa of Avila, you might just be flying. You don't know. You could be the next one to levitate. Who knows? We just don't know, do we? Why do you think you can't? I always say I'm waiting for the next saint to walk in the center. I'm so excited to meet.
I'm here already.
Thank God. And that's exactly it. That's what we work towards in yoga. We work towards being the best we can. The best you can means have some fun. Thank you, Johnny. I'm sorry about today.
No problem.
Well, it was lovely to have you here all day.
It was happy to be here.
Great.
Bye.
Bye. So, any questions? Anything you want to ask? Nothing? Okay, then I would like to suggest something if you all agree. Since we have few, we can have some blankets on the ground or mats on the ground. Would you like to do a deep relaxation?
That's really